Everything you see here is strictly informational. Forex is a high-risk business. Please do not place trades with more money than what you don't have. Please do not trade other people's money. Do not borrow any money than what you cannot trade with. And please take everything that I say as a personal opinion. I am not considered a financial advisor. I'm not considered a broker. I am just one here simply recording my journey along learning the markets. Hey guys, guess what? Got a new video for you. So we will be looking at the S&P today for the outlook of next week. I know I just did a video of how to trade the S&P, and basically that was all based on last week and what we were looking for, and basically how it was all support and resistance. Well, I don't think we're going to see anything much different this week, except for maybe a change of direction. So with that, what I'll probably do is I just posted something on TradingView, giving my thoughts, my idea about it, and we'll go over it, and we'll see what you guys have to think. Alright, so let's head over to the chart. Alright, so I got it split into two. Right now I'm just going to go down to one. Alright, so if we're looking back throughout time, 1 hour chart, going back to June, you can kind of see, kind of outline the pullbacks, the impulses, the pullback, the impulse, the pullback, and then the last impulse. So this area right through here is going to be what we saw all of this week, right? At least past 2 weeks. This is what we've been making our money off of. At least I have. Anyway, I hope you have too. Alright, so what we're going to take a little bit bigger look at is what is happening right now. Right, so right now, at the end of the day, let's see, this was the 11th through the 12th is when they had that big dip. And, we're currently above, if we want to go back and look at it, which I actually want to go back, look at the weekly outlook. Jesus, it's not like me. The one thing I was worried about a couple weeks ago was breaking a certain resistance level, and we did just that. We closed above it for the week last week, I want to say. Or maybe it was 2 weeks. No, it was last week. Yeah, closed above it last week, right? So this was that level that we couldn't get past. This right here, this 3150-ish level, I want to say. Closed above it last week. We still see more bullish movement ahead. As far as this week is concerned, we got near the all-time high, as you can see, but we did not break the all-time high. What I want to do is I do want to put a marker there, letting us know where the all-time high is, and that all-time high is 3398.2. So let's go ahead and put that in the coordinates. 3398.2, just so we have a reference as to where this all-time high is. I'm gonna change the style up a little bit. Let's make it green, so that way we know we're gonna make some money once we hit that. But it still could be a ways away before we hit it. And that's what I'm gonna go over. So we drill in. Let's go down to the 4 hour, what I was looking at. Again, showed you all the levels that we're going to. So now that we got all the way up into, well, that is the RSI. We really don't need to take a look at that right now. Trying to get this leveled out here. We were following this channel. It was drawn out a little bit better in my last previous ones, because it was following it to a T. But the thing is that once we got to, that wasn't supposed to be like that. I was supposed to grab the blue one. you know, I'll just move this out of the way really quick, grab the blue one. Once it, got up through here, we can kind of see it, it hit the back, or I guess this would probably be the best drawing of it, to be honest, because it's still following, we do have a touch here, and kind of goes through here, still acts as a little bit of a resistance, pulls back up, and then it gets through the line, then now it's pulling back up, and it's basically on the back side of it before the drop, right? So that is why essentially now I think we could leave that there. That could be a good starting point from where we're going to say, okay, this is where the momentum starts to change, because if we look at, for one, the RSI, you can see that we had this, this was the high point of the RSI, being a little bit oversold, especially on the 16, not necessarily the 29, but on the 16 that I have. Those are the two levels I like. Don't ask me why. I think you can kind of compare different kind of strengths whenever you're seeing farther out and a little bit closer together, because sometimes whenever you're closer together you may be stronger, sometimes when you're farther out you may be stronger, and it's just kind of an interesting way to look at it. But either way, we had this, the 16 kind of had this huge spike that was a little bit oversold, right? And then we come back up over here, we make a new high. Well, as we make a new high, RSI is getting weak, and then we made maybe probably about the same amount, maybe a little bit lower, but then we made a little bit more of a high on the RSI. But as you can see, the strength is going down, right? Not only is the strength going down on the RSI, let's bring the RSI down a little bit now, and let's take a look at the MACD. If we take a look at the MACD, we'll bring it up if we can. That's about as good as we're going to get on the MACD. As you can see from this period from July 27th, going all the way down through, I guess you could say earlier or later in the week, it was all up in the positive. And both you can see the signal and the MACD line, both just kind of soaring way ahead here. It just had so much strength. And then toward the end of the week, or toward beginning of last week, I should say, you kind of saw the momentum kind of change, right? So we had this little dip here. It looks like it was kind of struggling to get, above the 0 level in the MACD. And it finally did once we reached the top, which is where we find the peak of the RSI as well. And then at that 0 level here down at the MACD, whenever it drops, you can see the momentum completely change down into the red. When it comes back up right here, it just meets the 0 level, and once it meets the 0 level, it continues going down. Generally, once you have that switch from the positive, the momentum from being the positive to the negative, and it hits the 0, that's usually the good time to trade. That's usually the good time to go ahead and say, okay, here's what we can sell. So generally, according to especially what I've been told, this probably would have been the best time to sell. If that being the case, we're looking at this level as probably being the level. Yeah, we're going to see the high for now, because as you can see, we haven't broken this area right here for a high. That being said, it kind of it changed out of this channel. So now that it changed out of the channel, it kind of looks like it's using the back of that channel as a new resistance, and we're probably going to see it follow a new channel. Now, so what are we looking at now as following a new channel? Not 100% sure, but this is what I think it to be somewhat representative of, just based on what we have already. This is going to show that we're going to take about a week. If we're going to look at another pullback to where we end up going bullish again, we need to look for an area to where we're going to be bouncing off of. Now, that area I have drawn out is in between the 3280 and the 3290. That just, it seems, you know, you can see those were the two kind of highs here. You can see there was also some resistance here. Once it jumped across it, you know, that became the new support. And then after it became the new support, it didn't retest. You know, it tested once, but it didn't retest again. Keep on moving things here. So, as you can see from the previous channel, you know, you had kind of a short one here. Whenever you did have this short channel, you see it kind of move sideways, right? And whenever it moved sideways, it came down. You know, it tested this support again before moving forward. So that's what I think we're going to kind of see. We're going to be seeing it move down this way to be hitting this 3280 area before moving forward. Now, there is a good possibility, I could be completely wrong, in that this 3330 area could be acting as a new support, in which case we could be going sideways and then seeing a wedge form, right? If that's the case, you know, I would just watch that 3330 area to see if we break it. Again, you know, use the information I gave you in the last video. If it does break this, you know, I'll probably even use this low point here, which was the low here was 33.26.6. 33.26.6. If it ever breaks that 33.26.6 on a 5-minute chart, you're going to be seeing it going a lot lower. So that is going to be an area to watch. You know, I would expect it to come down, probably hit the area, you know, maybe even get in, bounce back up. You know, I think we're going to play in this channel for probably the whole week. Maybe even 2 weeks is what I have, you know, designated here until, you know, August 25th, 26th, until we finally, you know, reach this 19, I just became Joe Biden, 3280 area. Now, that's just one possibility. You know, I gave you two kind of possibilities. One, you know, if this becomes this 3330, you know, area stays as support, we're going to form a wedge, and then I would expect it to move forward. Or, you know, we see it come down this channel. One other possibility is that we see a little bit more of a sharper decline, and which I will kind of go through that. Let's bring this back. And I think it could possibly end up doing something like this, right? So if we get rid of this, take this, let's go ahead and make a copy here. And it kind of fits along the bottom of these, well, except for the one that, you know, completely protrudes down, but the other two, it does kind of follow along. So this is another channel that could actually form, which is a little bit, you know, quicker. It's gonna happen a lot quicker than what the previous one would. So with this one, what we're looking at is probably, you know, going to be hitting this, support level before the end of the week, right? So we could be hitting the support level before the end of the week, and then seeing it move back up again. That being said, there's really not a whole lot of fundamentals this week. You know, Congress has adjourned for you know, until Labor Day, so there's no talks of the stimulus. If you look at Forex Factory, there's I think Wednesday we have crude oil inventories. Thursday we have, you know, unemployment claims. The biggest thing I think that's going to play a factor into this is going to be gold. And to see what is actually going to be happening to gold, because if the dollar continues to struggle as it has been, and gold continues to rise, what we're going to be seeing, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of people pull, and this has also just been announced that Warren Buffett pulled out, or I would say pulled out, but has now been buying into gold stocks, to where he had previously had said that gold stock was, it was basically a nothing. You can't do anything with gold stock because it can't pay dividends. It can't pay yields. It does nothing. Well, what gold is, it's actually money, and if the dollar is going to continue to go down, we're going to continue to see gold go up. Or as far as the US dollar is concerned, compared to other currencies, who knows? I don't know what the GBP versus gold looks like. I don't, I'm sure it's going up as well too. But it seems like people could be moving away from a fiat currency system and wanting to go more toward a sound money system, and that has always been precious metals. Precious metals have always been sound money since as long as we can remember. We've been trading gold coins and and silver coins since as long as we can remember. And if in these times of COVID, people are feeling uneasy, or they're thinking their dollar may not be worth something soon, a lot of people are going to start investing in gold. And with Mr. Warren Buffett starting to do that, I think a lot of people are going to follow suit. We could see a rise in gold. The thing with the SPX though is that with the fall of the dollar, we usually see a rise in SPX, which is honestly kind of strange. Which means the SPX is worth more, even though the dollar is starting to get has less worth. This is all kind of being propped up by the Fed too. So the fundamentals at play here are going to be interesting to say the least. But I can't predict everything that's going to be on the fundamentals. What I can do is I can look at the technicals, and if these technicals coincide with the fundamentals, I think this could be something that would actually play out along with the fundamentals. We could see those drops, and if something good, there's some kind of good announcement by the end of the week, such as the unemployment claims. Last week the unemployment claims actually went down. Who knew if you stopped giving people a $600 stimulus check, they'd actually go back to work. So we could see those numbers go down. We could look for the COVID numbers to go down as well. It's all going to depend on how the media is going to spin this. But with the SPX being the indice that's going to represent the American economy, we're always going to see pullbacks. I believe we're going to see one this week. And again, these are the levels I am looking at. The one thing I am not thinking about is what happens if it goes below this 3280 level. We'll see what happens when it comes to that point. But as of right now, this is what my focus is on. And so how should you trade this, right? So now that we know what it's going to kind of do, how should you trade this? First, I would actually put a buy, probably somewhere around this resistance level of this 3330, 3224, somewhere around there. Because what's probably going to happen is you also see another little resistance level that is happening here, right? So let's just throw this line across. Let's make it, I like to have gold as my resistance levels, and let's see if we can't give it a little dash. Okay, so let's say we break this, you set a buy limit here, 3250, it comes back up. Here's where I would put a sell limit on this, what would be 3354, 3355, somewhere around there. I would put a sell limit there, and there I would not touch it until it comes down to this this 3280 area. That's where I'm gonna bet. So that would be my plays this week. If I am gonna play this, and this is what I'm looking at. I'm thinking it's gonna look more like this, more versus a longer drawn out type of thing. We took 2 weeks to go up, back here. Generally the pullbacks don't take that long. you know, but you know, just for all sakes and purposes, I had to, you know, take all the scenarios into to play. But I think this is a scenario that we're most likely looking at. We're going to see probably a, you know, a couple big drops. We're going to see a drop down here. We're probably going to see the pullback hit here, and then we're probably going to see that drop again into our, you know, our main buy area, and then we'll take this off. Now, one thing that I haven't, you know, shown yet that I need to take into consideration. And as I'm going to show that to you here, let me make sure you can see that because I just kind of switched over. Yeah, so throwing a fib on this at the current state that it's in, what you see is that the 618 level here is just below that 3280 level, right? Which, you know, it's definitely a good scenario, you know, for it to retrace back to that area, and it could possibly go a little bit deeper than that 3280. I mean, it's definitely a huge possibility, looking more like 3275 for that retracement. Or if we think it could, and what I think could possibly happen, is we could see, if we want to line that 618 level exactly up with that 3280 level, what you would actually see is a new high, right? You would see a new high of around 3205. Let me get this off of here. I wish it would play with me a little bit easier, because it's not wanting to. There we go, somewhere around there, 3405. We would see a new high, and it would probably reject automatically, sending it straight down, you know, into that buy zone, or maybe not even straight down to that buy zone, maybe more. Well, I would actually sell from there. If I was going to see it go up, I would put a sell limit probably around 32 or 3403, 3402, something like that, because then it would then reject down. Then we could see it bounce off the other levels as well, but I would just hold that trade until we get down to the 3280 level. But again, you know, that could possibly not happen. We could just see this, and we could see this Fibonacci stay exactly where it is. And that being the case, you know, it would probably go a little bit deeper than that 3280 level, into the 3273, 3275-ish area, something like that. So that's what I have as the game plan for me. I hope you got something out of this. You know, it is Saturday, August 15th. To be 100% honest, I have taken all day to look at this and come up with all these different possible scenarios. Next up, I will be probably doing a gold video, because we need to see what's also going to be happening with that, because those are the two that I trade. I'm no longer looking at you know, currency pairs or anything like that. I'm strictly going to start looking at the SPX indice, and I explained why in the last video, if you want to take a look at that. And I'm also going to be taking a look at gold and possibly silver. Silver is a little bit of a different animal, but you know, I definitely want to trade it. I just haven't been paying as much of attention to it as I have gold. But that's what I have for you guys today, and I hope this was helpful, and I hope you got something out of it, and let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, all right, thank you guys, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see if we get that push up, right, or we'll see if we're actually going to break down, but I would expect something like this to happen in the SPX this coming week. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and have a great and wonderful